get it.
Yeah,
You're doing
man,
good.
I
I like your
appreciate it.
work.
I appreciate it. So my question to you is, when I originally talked to you, when I originally met you,
Uh-huh.
you were more doing this content that had nothing to do with fighting, nothing to do with M&A. Uh,
Yeah.
what was that originally about? What was all that stuff?
I mean, it was just like gaming. Gaming is just like one of my hobbies,
Okay.
So like when I get time to myself, I'll just throw on a game and and just play away, just to re ease my mind from all the working and teaching and training and stuff like that,
Okay.
So it's just something that's just like my own little private time where I could just play video games and post online and just something that I like to do as a hobby.
Well, I enjoy it. My son loves watching people play video games online. He loves those YouTube channels. He thinks they're the greatest.
That's
What is
awesome.
it? Roblox and
Okay.
and Minecraft. He will
My
watch. He will watch people play that for hours.
really.
Yeah, I would have never guessed. I came from original Nintendo,
Uh-huh.
and
So did I. So did I. I used to play
if
Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, Castlevania,
yeah, and if
all
someone would
all
have
of that.
told me people would have paid to watch me, or I could have got paid to be watched, I would have called you a liar. And yet here we are. People are making millions. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I know there's some people that are gamers and they make about at least like a six-figure income,
isn't that
which is
wild?
crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
wild. Who would
it
have
is wild.
ever? Yeah, but
Yeah,
I would have never guessed that you could cash a check with your phone. So
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so who would have
You
saw
know that.
all of it coming? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So you are into MMA. Is that something you do full time?
No, it's not. It's something that I do part-time.
Ah.
I don't do it full time. I do have a morning job. I work in a warehouse, and then at nighttime, I'll teach a couple of classes like, kickboxing fitness and boxing fitness, and then I host my own fight team, which I have about like 30 participants that people they don't really have to compete, but if they want to compete, they can just come and train, kind of train like a fighter. We do a lot of sparring, we do a lot of yeah, we do a lot of fitness stuff and stuff like that, just to get them prepared and just to get them to have experience of what it's like to be in an actual situation or an actual competition.
That is amazing. Because I'll be honest with
Yeah.
you, I love the idea of training. I love the idea of even more getting in the ring, man, and making a few bucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a cousin about 10 years ago.
Hmm.
He was doing some of those low league stuff, and he was making a few $100s to lose.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not bad. I would do more like amateur fights.
yeah.
I would make off like by ticket sales. So like depending how many tickets you sell, you get a certain amount of percentage, from that ticket,
Okay.
for every ticket that's sold, you
Yeah,
know.
which is a
So
that's a cool hobby, man.
yeah, man, I love it. It's one of my passions. It's something that I've been I would say I've been teaching for like almost like over 15 years.
Wow.
So I
Okay.
started at the age of maybe like 26, 27. I'm 38 now.
Okay.
I'll be 39 next week. And I still have the heart for it. I guess because, like, growing up, I had a really rough childhood. And, like I was always bullied and picked on all the time, especially in grammar school. And it was kind of hard and challenging for me because for the fact that, every year as I progressed, I would have the same class members and they were like, "Oh, look, it's Rick. Let's go pick on him." I would have like new clothes. My parents would spend a lot of money on shoes and they would step on them, and kind of like, throw me to the ground.
Yeah.
I would get like five, six guys beating on me like almost every day, and it destroyed my confidence, it destroyed my self-esteem, it destroyed my grades. I had no desire to go to school, so it was very difficult. And when I got to high school, I was terrified. I was very terrified of going to high school. I did horrible in high school. I mean, I was still able to graduate by by luck, but I was always afraid because it put me in a position, as I was growing up, put me in a position to figure out which personality that I can use to fit my life in order for me to fit in. And it came to the point that after high school, or like maybe like in my senior year, freshman year to the senior year, I was just like, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna do what I gotta do and just be who I am. I kind of accepted. Um, well, I didn't really accept it because I was still struggling. Like one time I would try to be, a person that I'm not. Just like I said, just to try to fit in with the cool kids, so that way I wouldn't have to get bullied or pick on. Because I did have a couple of bullies in high school through that time.
That's
You know,
rough, man. That's not easy.
no, it's not. It's
How,
not.
how did you eventually face them? What was the catalyst that made you face them?
Um, that's a really good question. It was kind of I was after I graduated high school, I was heading down a path where it wasn't good. And like I started hanging out with the wrong people. I became a club promoter. I was like a photographer taking pictures, and I was doing things that I wasn't supposed to be doing, and I was working with this organization called House and Y. They were all about house music, and I was a photographer, and I would go to clubs like Atlantic City, um, some clubs in Clifton, New York City, and I would take photos of people, and so yeah, so then after that, I went to Atlantic City and I did something that I wasn't supposed to do, and so like, and from where I live, Atlantic City is like 2 hours or 2 hours and a half away, and that whole time I was just like driving like so emotional, like crying for the whole 2 hours and a half, because like I couldn't find myself. I think that I hit rock bottom at that point. And so when I got home, one of my good friends, he called me. He was like, he lived downstairs from me, and he was like, hey Rick, what are you doing? I said, nothing, man. He was like, come watch this movie with me. And I was like, what movie? And he was like, just come watch it with me. And so I went downstairs to his place and we watched the movie Never Back Down. I don't know if you ever heard of it. So
Yeah.
Never Back Down was the first movie that I got introduced into mixed martial arts. And after I saw the movie, I was like, oh, and my friend was like, yo, Rick, you should try it. You know what I mean? I'm like, huh, maybe I should. Maybe I should. And so I started doing my research online and started, looking around to figure out what kind of style it was. Because I didn't know anything about MMA. I didn't know anything about the UFC at that
Wow.
time.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew nothing about it. And so, yeah, and so like I did my research, and all of a sudden, like I would still do my club promoting days. And when I found a school to train at, I joined, and I told my friends like, hey, my clubbing friends, I'm gonna go fight in a cage. I'm gonna be an MMA fighter, and they all laughed at me. They were like, no, you ain't. You ain't gonna do this. You ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna do none of that shit. And I'm like, yes, I am. I am gonna do it. So when I joined the school, I was with that one academy for I think about 8 years. And so then my whole schedule just changed. So I went from work from like 7 a.m. to like 4 or 5 p.m. and then went to train at the academy from 6 to like 10:30 at night. And I was there almost every day. Like Sunday was like my only day that I had my rest,
Good
so
for
I
you,
was
man.
there
Yeah.
every day and I stayed committed. And my old instructor at the time, he was like, you got the potential to teach, and I'm like, really? And he was like, yeah, I can help you. I can help teach you so you can learn how to teach. So he showed me the ropes, he showed me the ways, and I just took that and started teaching jujitsu, for a while. And then, me and him, we had a falling out. Then I started going to other places, to train and to teach. And yeah, and like through all the experience, like, it put me in this position now. And the good thing is I have about at least like five fights under my name. I did three MMA fights, which I won two and I lost one. I did a boxing debut, which I won that one, and I did a Muay Thai smoker, which is not it wasn't in the card. It wasn't like ranked or sanctioned, so I was able to do that, and it was really fun. The sanctioned fight was the unsanctioned fight was my first fight ever, and I did really really well,
How scared?
because
How scared were you, man?
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
very very terrified. Like, yeah, I can't even believe it. I was terrible. Like my hand is like literally shaking while they're trying to wrap. And that's with every fight that I go through. Like my second MMA fight, I'm shaking my hand and I'm telling my coach, I'm like, man, you gotta talk to me, man. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. And he's like, relax, Rick, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. So I think every fight, every time I plan for a fight, it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It is nerve-wracking, you know.
Well, there's all these elements, man. There's people watching you. Some of them you know.
Yeah,
They're sitting in a seat looking at you.
yeah, yeah. They
Now,
pay like 40, $50 a ticket,
yeah,
and
man.
it's just
So
like,
that's very vulnerable. Now there's another guy
yeah,
across the ring. He wants to knock your head off,
yeah,
and
exactly,
he's been
exactly.
waiting for months to hit you.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And it was so
you
funny.
take those two together, man, and that's a wild
That,
combination.
and it was funny because like my second MMA fight is one of my favorites, because like when we had the weigh-ins, he had his clothes on, whatever, and we did a face-off, whatever, and I'm like, oh, this guy is nothing. I can handle this guy without a problem. And so then as I'm in the cage, he comes in, he takes his shirt off, and I'm like, oh shit. He had like a six pack. He was jacked up. And now this was at the 155 pound weight class. And I'm just like, he's all jacked up, and I'm just like, oh man, what am I gonna do here? You know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh, but somehow, some way I was able to beat him and win
Nice, good
by
for you.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think it
no,
was by
the best physiques do not win all the time.
no,
Chuck
absolutely no.
Chuck Liddell never looked that pretty.
No, that's true. That's very true.
And
That's
actually,
very
wasn't there that country guy with the redheaded mullet there? What was his name? Big
I forgot
Country
his name.
something or whatever.
I
That
think I know. It's a picture in my head, but
yeah.
I forgot his name though too.
There was several cats there that had no business looking
Yeah, and
like they
they're
belonged in the
phenomenal
ring,
fighters.
and they would crush it when they get in there, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
I'd
absolutely.
bet on Chuck Liddell today. I don't even care. All this shit, I'd still do it, man. I'd put money on him. But so I know if you have a style, you stick to the style. But if you're gonna do MMA, you have to do a little bit of everything.
Yes, a little bit of everything, and the three basic fundamentals, in my personal opinion, for MMA is that you need to learn how to strike Muay Thai. Need to know how to throw the punches, throw the kicks, a little bit of wrestling to take down and to take down defense, and to defend yourself from the ground, which is the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So me, I would say my strong point is the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, my ground game. Striking, I'm okay. Wrestling, I'm not that good. But at least if I can know at least one or two takedowns, that would be easy for me to do. Then I'll give it a shot. But as long as I can defend myself from the ground, if the fight happens to go to the ground, or learn how to defend myself for standing up, because I think those are the two most important factors. If you get taken down, you can get back up, or if you get taken down, then you can work your ground game. So it all that's just the way I think. Although I'm pretty sure other trainers and other coaches they would feel a little something different, but that's the way I feel, especially when I run the fight team.
Good
You
deal.
know,
So how are you guys doing? Are they making some wins?
yeah, they're actually I'm very proud of them. I'm proud of them, and I'm proud of myself because like you know, they have come such a long way, and they're very consistent, and they remind me of me sometimes.
Good deal.
We always gonna need that work. I still need that work. My fighters, they still need that work, but they're there consistently every weekend. We kind of spar like twice a week, once a week. Just to give the brain a break throughout the week and stuff like that. But yeah, so like they just been improving so much and so dramatically. And I'm proud of myself, and I'm happy because like from coming from that rough childhood, and learning how to defend myself, and helping others,
Yeah.
it became a passion of mine. So like I don't care about the money. I don't care about the checks. That's not my thing. You know what I mean? As long as I can go over there and I can teach, show people how to defend themselves, because hey, you never know. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of kids, especially kids. There's a lot of people that are afraid, and they're afraid to get bullied, and they get picked on, and if they can find me, I would take the time to work with them and make sure that they learn how to defend themselves at all
I,
times.
I think there's nothing more important. To be honest with you, you're not going to be able to make good decisions, be honest with yourself, tell the
Absolutely.
truth if
Yeah.
you feel like a coward on the inside. No
Yeah.
matter what the veneer is on the outside, if you truly feel like a coward, the odds of you being able to make good moral decisions become so difficult.
Yeah.
Do
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying?
No,
Like
yeah, I completely understand.
I can trust myself. I believe I can fight. I believe I can take care of myself.
Yes.
It allows you. A good example would be that argument over meekness, and they're like
Hmm.
the meek shall inherit the earth. They're not talking about cowards inheriting the earth. They're talking about stone cold killers who
Yeah.
decide not to be violent unless the service of their family or country.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a man that could take care of business who just has to look at you because he's
Hmm.
already been through the mud to get. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think there's a huge catalyst, especially for a man, to have
Hmm.
that energy on the inside. It
Yeah.
just it makes everything easier.
Yeah, it does. It
And not
does.
only that, but you have a host of disciplines that have to
Yeah.
come with what you got
Hmm.
that stay with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Like I'm happy because like not only that I was able to defend myself, but you know, it also taught me how to build my self-esteem, to get back my self-esteem, to get back my confidence, and just to and have the personality that's me. You know what I mean? Like I don't care about what anybody else think of me. This is who I am,
Yeah,
and this is what I do. You know what I mean? So and because this is something that I didn't have back when I was growing up, because again, like I did horrible at school. I was on probation in seventh grade because through the whole year I came out with like 32 Fs. I failed almost every subject. You know what I mean? Because of the bulliness and the confidence, I just didn't have any.
yeah,
I didn't have any. But now things have like now as I got older and took care of myself and I said, hell, you know what? Maybe I should get into this and maybe I should try it. And so then, and now like I walk around and I always, and don't get me wrong, I always stay humble. I try to do the best. Sometimes I get a little cocky, but I guess that's just a normal thing. But I always try to humble myself, and I don't consider myself as a person that knows it all. Because like even when I teach, I also still love to learn from other people especially that are way more experienced than I am.
yeah,
The
yeah.
learning process.
You gotta keep open minded. Absolutely.
Yeah, I always stay open minded.
You never know when your philosophy is going to have to change a little bit because,
Yes,
like you said, you're always in a constant state of growth.
yes,
To
always.
some extent, you're always growing a little bit.
Yes, always. Always. I'll learn something new or, and it could be just like a little simple thing where you just throw, like, for an example, if you were to throw a jab and you're like, oh, you're throwing your jab wrong. Why don't you just try to throw your jab this way? Or not saying throwing your jab wrong, but why don't you just tweak this when you jab? And then it's a whole another game changer,
Yeah.
just because he just made that adjustment on the jab. You know what I
And
mean? So
how often has a guy come out to you, or you see someone on UFC who changes the way everybody plays karate because
oh
he
yeah,
just
absolutely.
or just everybody changes the way they get out of that leg lock because
Yeah.
this guy
Hmm.
always turns to the left and gets out
Yeah.
like that. I remember the
Yeah.
Diaz brothers used to drive me nuts.
I
I'd
love the
watch
DS.
them. Oh yeah, no, I love him. I love him. Don't get me wrong. Nate was the shit. You kidding me? And I loved his big brother too. But when those guys come, they change it a little bit. No matter how right you were yesterday, when
Yeah.
that new guy with that new style comes out and wins, everybody tweaks it a little bit.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
So you know you're gonna learn something. Another
Yeah.
Nate's coming, another Chuck Liddell, whoever it be. Someone's
Whoever,
coming
yeah.
that's gonna show you something that you thought you already knew.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, it's always you're always yeah, like I said, every time I spar, I'm always learning, and even from the guys that have less experience, they'll do something different and I'm just like, oh, maybe I might want to incorporate that into my game.
Yeah.
So I pick and choose what would fit for me and what would not fit for me and when sparring. You know what I mean? So like I like to catch people with the spinning back fist. That's one of my favorites. Or Superman punch because my guys they don't see it coming.
Yeah.
You know? But no, but my guys, I have one guy. He's very strong. His name is Coach Kevin, and he's a big dude, man. He's like my Goliath, and I'm David, And so it's like every time I spar with him, I get so frustrated because I can't hit him because he's like at least like 6 feet something, and
Oh yeah.
he
And you
has
said
some
you're
he has weight.
155, right? You're
Yeah.
155.
Well, no,
Ah.
now I'm like 164.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
155 was like a couple of years ago.
Okay.
But I did have a fight at 145 with the third MMA fight at 145, and I lost that fight because not to make excuses because it was my fault, but I had to lose like 20 pounds in like 2 months,
Wow.
and yeah, so that was a lot.
That's a
That was
lot.
a
Yeah.
very yeah,
That's
that was a
that's like 25%, 20% of your body weight.
Yeah, 20. Like, I had to lose. Yeah, I had to, and I was at one. I had was at
15.
165 when I started camp, and I plateaued at 155 for like 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out. Like I was training hard. I was tired. I was exhausted. I was trying to change my diet, eating days that I didn't eat, and my weight would not go down at all. And I had like 3 weeks before the fight, and I'm just like, I gotta do something.
And you ain't losing 15 pounds of water weight.
No, I don't
Yeah.
even know. Like
Yeah.
it was just crazy. And then I started tweaking around with the coffee. I would put like because I was so tired, I would put like 4 or 5 spoons of sugar in my coffee
That's what
to
it
give me the
was.
energy.
Yeah.
So then when I made my coffee, I was like, let me just try 1 spoon of sugar. So I did 1 spoon of sugar every day, and my weight just dropped dramatically. And I made weight, luckily, a couple of days before the weigh-ins.
Wow. That's
And
a
I was
crazy
so
story, bro.
exhausted.
That's a crazy
Yeah,
story.
I was just like, you're cutting like pineapples like steak, and it's just like never again, never again.
Yeah.
But the next time, hopefully, I am planning to see if I can do one more fight, maybe. I mean, I am 38. I think that MMA is a young man's sport now. If I were to fight again, I'll probably be fighting like 26-year-olds, 25, maybe even 21-year-olds.
And they're
They're
fast
gonna
and
be a lot.
strong, man.
Yeah,
They're
they're gonna be
fast and
fast. They're gonna
strong.
be strong. You know.
And
But yeah, but maybe I could probably do another 145 because right now I'm at 165, which is good. But I'm taking my time. I'm not like booking a fight, and I'm not gonna cut 20 pounds in 2 months. I'm not doing that again.
no.
So and actually before a year ago, I was at 187, I believe.
Okay.
I let myself go and I gained
Yeah.
weight,
Yeah.
and then I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to start. Once I started the fight team, I'm going to start training, started working out with the class, and then started sparring, and then I started losing weight, and now I'm at 164, 165 around there, and I feel great. I feel really, really good. I feel really good.
Now, I know I've heard on several occasions other people say it's very hard to be a coach, especially
Yeah.
if you're a fighter.
Hmm.
It just seems like I think Mike Tyson even said it because a couple people would ask him, "Why don't you teach a class? Why don't you teach a class?" He's like, "It takes a different breed of person to teach a
Hmm.
class, man. It's not in my character." He's like, "I can't be your mother and your father and your coach and your cousin and your
Yeah.
I just." He's like, "I don't have it in me."
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the person because you can have these world champions, right? And they can be like the top names, but when you have them teach a class, they can't teach for shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can't coach for nothing. A coach. So like for me as a coach, the number one thing for me personally, is safety. I want my fighters to go in the ring safe, and I want them to come out safe.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like being, yeah. So it's kind of like it's kind of being a coach is trying to me personally. And I was watching one video of a guy separating from a coach and a personal trainer. As a personal trainer, they just want to tell you, okay, do 10 bicep curls, do 10 kettlebell swings, do 10 squats, do all this and this and that. But a coach, like an MMA coach, they'll contact their fighters throughout the week, like, hey, how you feeling? How you doing? Whatever. Like I had two fighters, two guys that wanted to make their boxing debut, but they can't because they went to a neurologist and they have problems with their brain. One had a concussion years ago, and he had a brain tumor, out of that concussion. It went away. It went away. But the doctor, when he went to go check on it, the doctor was talking about, no, you can't do it. So that's a tough road for him. And I actually spoke to him today, and tried to encourage him. And I said, listen, man, because he said that this was the most difficult couple of months because he was really looking forward to fight, And I said, listen, like that you don't have to go through this stuff by yourself. You know what I mean? Like I can understand the feeling that you're going through. Like you can always call me and talk to me. You know what I mean? And I'll be there. And I'll do whatever I can
Of
to get
course,
you out of
yeah.
this funk. And I tell that to all my fighters. And I was supposed to have and I was supposed to have a fourth MMA fight. I trained about three to 4 months as hard as I could, and then like the 2 nights before the fight, my coach, my boxing coach, he was like, "All right, give me a jab cross," and I'm just like, ah. And he was like, "What's that?" I said, I don't know. I feel weak. I feel congested. My sinus, this is all hurting. I'm feeling weak. I'm not feeling well. I don't know what's going on. I don't have the energy. I don't know where it is. Maybe I'm just tired. Went to bed and then, woke up and I felt worse. And then my coach was like, go to the sauna, try to sweat it out, sweat it out. I went to the sauna, tried to sweat it out. It made it even worse. So I was like, I'm going to go to an urgent care. So I went to one of those urgent cares and the doctor was checking on me. And he was like, you have an upper respiratory infection. And I said, well, no, I can't. I don't have an upper respiratory infection because there's no way. I have to fight tomorrow. And the doctor was like, you ain't fighting tomorrow. I'm like, no, yes, I am fighting tomorrow. I don't care what you say. I'm going to fight tomorrow. And then when I had he gave me all the medication, this and that. And Saturday morning on fight night, I woke up, I couldn't move. My body was sore, everything was aching. And I had to call my coach. I was like, I can't do it. I really can't do it, you
Yeah.
know? So and just that alone, it takes a toll on you because I couldn't recover that. I couldn't recover from that for like almost a year because I felt that I let so many people down because I have put so much work into that, and as coaches, they were with me through every single step of the way to
Yeah.
get me better. And then for it to come down on that last minute, it was very, very challenging. It was very heartbreaking for me, you know.
All right. Well, then the most important question would be then, how did you dig yourself out of that rut?
Oh, I mean, it's kind of hard, because like I felt like that wasn't like the main rut out of that one because like it just kept getting kind of worse and worse. I was dealing with issues with some gyms that I was working with, and I guess like the biggest obstacle that I had was that for my boxing the boxing fight that I had was my last fight, my last recent fight, and with that, I was training for boxing to get my feet wet back into the MMA game again, to overcome. And so, like, I'm working, I'm training. And so then I decided to go on vacation for a week with my family, to Florida. And during that week, my morning job that I've been working for 15 years fired me during on my vacation. You know what I mean? So,
When it
like, now
rains, it
I feel
pours,
like,
man. When it rains, it pours. Now,
yeah,
what
man.
is that? I want to know what that is. When you're doing good, you can't help but do better. When you're doing bad, you can't help but do worse.
Yeah.
What is
I
the?
think,
It's like a momentum thing.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. And it's
So
just
how did
like,
you turn it around, man? So things are going bad. I understand that. That happens to all of us. I've seen it happen to me numerous times.
yeah.
What was the magic that turned you around and got you back in the gym, got you back to the 9 to 5, got you back in the passion, and made you just do your thing?
Yeah, you know what? The thing that got with me was to try not to worry about it, not to stress about it, and just leave it in God's hands. And just I'd leave it in His hands, and then and just go, just keep moving forward. The past is the past; it's done, it's over. Don't look behind, and just keep going. So even though that I was going through that difficult time, I still managed to make it through the classes. I still managed to train and had the tunnel vision where I'm going to fight. I'm going to have my boxing fight. and I'm gonna do it no matter what. I had my friends, I had my family supportive, through those dark times, and I'm just gonna keep going. And after that, I had that boxing fight, and after I had that boxing fight, I won that boxing fight.
Nice.
Because I was ready to go. And that was a nightmare too, because like the guy that I was supposed to fight, he dropped out on the same day. He never showed up, so I was so pissed off. And then the athletic state commission, they were just like, all right, well, we have another fighter for you. Put me in. I don't care. I don't care who it is. Give me someone that's like 300 pounds. I don't care. I want to fight. I just want to.
Southpaw, Southpaw. I don't
Yeah, it
care what
doesn't
it
matter.
is.
Yes, I
I'm
don't
ready.
care. I just want
Yeah.
to fight, because I had something to prove. I had something to prove that I felt that, like no matter what you're going through, if you really put the hard work and dedication into it, you'll be successful. You'll make it, you
Ricardo,
know.
I couldn't agree with you more, man.
That's the way it is. And yeah, sometimes I get my ups and downs, and it's challenging, but I always try to keep pushing forward, keep pushing forward. And now today, my current situation, I have a great job. I have a new job. I work from 5:45 in the morning till 2:30. Come home, rest a little bit, teach my classes. Every my classes have been full.
Nice.
At the UFC gym. And it's just like it's everybody loves me there, and I have the fight team, which I created from the ground up to help my boss, at the gym. And everything has been going stable, and I can say for the first time in a long time, I'm actually really, really happy. Really, really happy.
Awesome. I love to hear that, man.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, man.
So
So you were saying you are in the Jersey area? Are you in Atlantic
yes, I'm
City?
in the Jersey area, North Jersey. Yeah.
North Jersey. Okay, I'm from Connecticut.
Oh, and Connecticut. That's nice.
Uh,
All right, all right.
so I'm
Oh,
probably about as far away from New York City as you are.
oh, really? Like how many hours? Because the
Uh,
city's like 30 minutes from me.
I'm Bristol. Well, I live in Texas now, but when I
Oh, you
lived
live in
in,
Texas now.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I live in
okay.
Texas. But I grew up my whole life in Connecticut. I grew up
Oh,
in
okay.
Bristol, Connecticut, man. Hour and a half at the max.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Actually, no traffic, and you go a little too fast. 50 minutes.
50. I would say that about Atlantic City as well too. When there's no traffic, you just go, and I get there like in an hour and a half.
If that 91, 95 interchange
Yeah,
is good
yep,
to
yep,
go,
yep.
then I'm golden, man. I'm
That's
in.
it.
I'm
I'm
in.
going.
Yeah.
I'm going. Yep. I agree. I agree. So how is it in Texas? I always wanted to go visit Texas.
It,
You know,
it was a good choice on my part. I was able to buy a house 5 years ago.
nice.
It very seldom snows. When it does snow, the whole world ends, but it very seldom happens.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I like it, man. I like it a lot. There's a lot of
Good.
freedom, a lot of opportunity.
I like it. Yeah, because I was maybe in the future I was thinking of moving out over there to start a new life.
I'll be honest with you. Tons of energy out here.
Yeah.
Austin's on fire. They've got so
Wow.
many people, so many things happening. I'm outside of San Antonio, and
Okay.
they just plow out neighborhoods. They can't fill them.
Really?
They can't fill them fast enough.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's great though.
yeah.
That's great. That's
So,
great. Yeah. So maybe one day I want to probably come over there, go over there to Texas and visit and take a vacation, and see what it's all about. Maybe even start my life over there.
but I want you to know it's a whole nother world.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
Yeah,
okay with that. I'm
because
okay with that.
I didn't realize what we had there versus what
Uh-huh.
the. It's a whole nother world. There's no Puerto Ricans. Yeah, I mean, it's
I'm Puerto
just.
Rican.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm used to. I would hang out with Puerto Rican cats. One of my best friends growing up was Melvin Melendez. This
That's
dude,
okay.
yeah, straight, yeah, yeah, no, man.
Yeah,
So,
I'll be the first one over there then.
yeah, right, because it's all Mexican, man. It's a whole other world, a whole other world, and the culture is a far different culture. I did not realize the difference. I didn't expect there to be a difference. I mean, I understood that there's going to be a Costco's and a Walmart and a McDonald's just like everywhere
Yeah, yeah,
else.
yeah. Just like everyone else.
But yeah, man, the way they do things is so different.
Really?
Yeah,
Serious.
and just like Connecticut, for instance, you go in the ghetto in a poor neighborhood, everybody's poor. In Texas, if you're in a small town, your neighbor can have like a shack. There'd be a trailer and then a millionaire. and then another
Wow.
trailer, another shack, and then another millionaire, and they're all living like right next to each other. It's the craziest,
Really?
bizarre. It's
That's
bizarre.
yeah, that is bizarre. I would like
Their kids will
to
all go to
see
school together.
really?
Oh yeah. And they have private schools. They have private Catholic schools. They do exist, but the
Okay.
vast majority of local kids go to local schools together. How else you gonna
Wow.
play? How are you gonna play good high school football in some rinky-dink school when
Yeah,
football is king around here?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Football is king.
I can imagine it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's full-grown 40, 50-year-old men still wearing our high school T-shirt, going to high school games. Oh yeah, man. Hey, the football is huge, man. You
That's
should see
great.
the stadiums for the high school and the middle school.
Really?
Yeah, it blow your mind, man. It blow your mind.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So that means you're a Cowboy fan?
I'll be a Patriots fan until the day I die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Connecticut. When you're in Connecticut, you're either New York or Boston
Okay.
because there's no teams in Connecticut.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
you're either a Giants, Jets, or a Patriots. You're
Yeah,
either a
I'm more of a
Celtics.
Giant.
Yeah, you're either Celtics or you're Knicks. You're either Yankees
Yeah.
or Red Sox. Connecticut didn't have none, so I was Boston. I was Boston all the way.
Yeah, I'm more Giants all the way.
Okay. Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad. My dad loved the Giants, but I think Brady. I think Brady brought him over.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
good.
the first football team I ever went to was I think I was 12 years old. I went with my dad and a bunch of his friends, and we watched the Patriots lose to the Houston Oilers.
Oh, real? Wow, the
Wow.
Houston Oilers. That's
Yeah.
old.
Yeah, that's real
That's an
old.
old
But
team,
I
man.
was
That's
12, dude. I
old.
was 12 years old, man. So I had a blast and I was hooked because that was the greatest thing I ever seen in my life. I was one of the
Yeah,
guys, you know. Uh,
yeah.
but
I used to play high school football.
very cool. That's a
Yeah,
lot of fun, man.
down in in Patterson. I used to play high school football, but my main position was the bench. I sat down a lot.
Most people do, man. Most people do.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I sat
yeah. When I was in high school in Bristol, Aaron Hernandez was right after me. I just missed him by a couple years.
Oh wow.
My dad, I think he said, ended up playing with his father and his uncle.
Really?
Yeah. Or at least he remembered.
Wow.
At least he remembered the names.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
thinks it was the
absolutely.
day. Yeah, same
Oh
town. So
man.
the odds are it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's crazy with Aaron Hernandez though.
Isn't that wild, man? That is
Wild.
the most iconic version of keeping it real going horribly wrong.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I don't understand. If you
Absolutely.
got all that money, you can be like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You
Yeah.
guys, you can all come back to my mansion and we'll party.
But no.
But
But
no,
that kind of tells you that I mean in a way that kind of tells you that money isn't the only thing. It
no.
doesn't matter how much money you have, you're still gonna have those problems.
Yes,
You know,
and
you're gonna have them.
that's another thing that blows my mind, right? Because we were talking about the discipline and the behavior it takes to get where you're going.
Yes.
There's no way Aaron Hernandez didn't have someone pushing him in the morning to go run and work out. He had to have all that discipline.
Yeah.
He
True.
had to have. He had to have.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
fucking way he got to the NFL
Yeah.
eating Doritos playing video games.
Yeah, exactly. No
Yeah.
way. Yeah, and actually, when COVID started, and I was working at a gym, they had to shut down the gym. So an idea came up where I was like, you know what? Let me try out this Zoom thing. So I got the Zoom and I paid for the Zoom, and I said, hey, we're all gonna work out. We're gonna do boxing at home. You know, just link in, join in,
Yeah.
and let's just work out.
And you
And we
still get to
still have
stay
that box.
accountable. You still get to see everybody doing stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, everybody's still moving around. Everybody's still working out, not letting themselves go. And I took the time. I took the time out of, again, this is where my passion comes in because I don't just focus on myself. I focus on other people, you know. And with with the whole COVID thing, it was just horrible. And I was like, you know what? No matter what, even all the gyms are shut down. The Zoom idea came to my head, and I said, all right, let's go. I don't care whether you're a member of the gym or not. If you're not a member, if you just want to work out, just come and work out. This is the Zoom link, and I paid monthly for it, and it was the sessions were ongoing. They no video issues, no nothing, you know, and everybody loved it. It was a big hit. I used to get like about like 20 to 25 people, you know,
Nice, nice, good for you,
yeah,
man.
for a session. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how long did you have to do it that way before they
Oh,
pulled back
yeah.
on the restrictions?
Well, I mean, I had to do it for like close, almost, I would say, like close to a year.
Wow.
Close to a year. And then they started to die out when they started, letting go of the restrictions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, and then the person that I was working for, kind of like policed it and tried to be controlling with it, and it took away what my message out was, what I was trying to provide out there. And then people kind of got turned off with it, and it just went downhill when my ex-employee wanted to change everything up for the whole Zoom, like charging people and stuff like that. I'm like, listen, like, you don't have to do, I'm doing this out of my time, for them. I'm not doing it for me. I'm not doing it for the money. I want to do it for them. You know what I mean?
Especially during a horrible time like that. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. That's what it comes down to. And I'm just that's where my heart just opens up. You know what I mean? So I try to do the best I can for everybody. You can't make everybody happy, but at least my mentality is to try to make everybody happy.
It's a
You know?
great mindset, man. That's the kind of mindset you need. You really,
Yeah,
honestly, because
absolutely.
you don't know where somebody's at and
No, you never know.
how much of a difference that day made, or that week,
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
those couple months could have been the difference between life and death for some people, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
A
And we
lot of
don't even
people, yeah, and you may never know. To be honest with you,
yeah, you'll never know.
you may not. You may have to wait until the afterlife, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I appreciate you putting all that effort in, man. That's a
Well,
wonderful
thank
thing.
you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So,
how bad was the restrictions up there in Jersey, man?
it was pretty, I think it was pretty bad. Everything was closed except for the supermarkets. The supermarkets were like very empty. It was a terrifying moment. But again, my family is a Christian family, and they raised me in that way, and we're just like, we're gonna be fine. We just leave it into God's hands, and then, we're gonna be fine. And we were able to go to get the groceries that we need, and able to manage to survive through it.
Yeah,
My family, we survived through it um, in the beginning stages, because that's when there was like no vaccine, and people were like dying. Like I've seen videos of, the hospitals throwing the bodies in the trucks and stuff like that, and that was frightening. That
yeah,
was very scary. But like when the virus started to mutate and started to get a little weaker and weaker and weaker, then I got caught with COVID, and then passed it on to my mother. And then my father had COVID and passed it on to my mother. My mother passed it on to me. And thank God, I have two sisters, and them two are the only ones that have not yet
yeah,
gotten in COVID. God forbid, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, we got through it.
Good deal.
We got through it.
Yeah, I'm glad no one died. That's cool.
No, absolutely not. No, no.
You just don't know. It was a weird thing. Some people did, some people didn't, and it didn't matter if you were
It
healthy. It
was.
just didn't. It was
Yeah.
just a random. Yeah,
Yeah, the information was just crazy. Like they say, like it would attack, it would kill the older people, at a certain age, and it's just like, and then you had, like, I heard that there was these young guys that are physically fit, like fit with good body shape, and they get COVID and they wouldn't make it,
yeah.
and I wouldn't consider myself physically fit, like, because I love to eat my junk food, always. I have a little bit of a sweet tooth sometimes, but yeah, I was surprised that I was able to, fight through it, you know. So it was good, and also my family, because both my parents are diabetic as well.
Oh
So
well, that's a little dangerous. The diabetes definitely throws a
yeah,
monkey
yeah,
wrench in
they're
everything.
both diabetic, but
Yeah.
again, they had COVID, and they were okay. They only
It
had
seemed
doctors.
like if you got through the first like 3 month phase there, the real bad one,
Hmm.
it seemed like everything after that wasn't as scary.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
mean, we
think,
were all worried, but it wasn't something to be scared of anymore.
yeah, I think we got it when it was the Omicron. I
Oh,
think.
you're fine. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, yeah,
As
we got
long
it
as
when
you make
Omicron.
sure you're ready to go to the hospital if it gets dire, you're good to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You're good
yeah,
to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we don't have to worry about that. All the restrictions are lifted up now, so
Good deal.
we're good. Everybody's doing, barely even wear masks unless you have to go to like the hospital or something.
Yeah.
So,
Good deal.
but that's pretty much about it, though.
All right.
you know.
Well, Ricardo, I appreciate you, man. This was a cool conversation, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on your show, man. I really love it.
It's
You know.
crazy that I originally found you playing a video game.
There's more than meets the eye, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm sure there's even more to be said than what we've already talked about, man.
Oh, absolutely. I have plenty of stories. I have plenty of stories, of throughout my training, careers of the things that I've experienced, the damage that has been done, a lot of hurtful things. And I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't mention any names. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to say anything just yet. You know what I mean? I wanted to see how this was going to turn out too. But like I said, I always have a story. But the good thing about it, I'm glad that I went through those experiences with these other like with the other gym owners, because I can take what would be beneficial to me, and I can throw out what not will not be beneficial to me. You know what I mean? Because if I ever get to the point where I retire and I be like, okay, you know what? I want to open up a gym. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to go there, and I'm going to take those experiences that I had and know what to do and what not to do as far as running the business.
Yeah.
And technically, and even another thing that I did as well too, like when COVID happened, I would also, I started my outdoor program. I was doing my outdoor boxing program, where we would go to parks and get a couple of people gathered and we would just train, and I wouldn't do it for money, but they were just like, hey, let's just do, let's pay you whatever this and that. And I'm like, fine. And I said, okay, $5 a class. That's it. If you want to do, because I don't
Pay
care.
for my coffee. Pay for my coffee. Pay for my lunch.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. I had two members that came by all the time, where everybody got, when the restrictions started being lifted, and yet I had two people coming to me all the time, and they were like, here's your money. I'm like, forget it. Just go. Don't worry about it. We just worked out. We're fine. Just keep going. Just go. And they were like, oh, we're gonna take you out to dinner. Yeah, that's fine. Or just get me a 6 pack and I'll be happy with that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You know. But that's how much I mean, into that sport. It changed my life a lot.
I
And
don't think people realize the interaction is valuable in and of itself.
yeah, no, I don't think so either.
People don't realize how important it is to just be out there doing
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because you stay home in your house, man, you're gonna lose your mind.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know. And there were times when I lost my job. That's all I did too.
yeah.
Stayed in my
And
house
then
and
then you're playing too many video games. You're watching way too much news. You get all in your head. You get all in your head, and before you
yeah,
know it,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's over.
yeah, it's over, man.
Yeah, yeah. But it's good. I'm so busy that I barely even get a chance to play video games. But you know,
Yeah, I barely have time to watch TV, man. I literally maybe an hour a week,
well, an hour a week,
maybe.
that's better than nothing.
Yeah,
You
just
know.
don't have time, man.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, right now my schedule is packed. I have a little sad story. I have my one of my closest friend. He's a jiu-jitsu fighter. He's a black belt. His name is Vasilika Goyan, and I known him for over 15 years. He's been with me ever since the beginning. The first day I met him, he's been with me ever since. And and we had this connection. We had this bond. Like we were there for each other. And now, like a couple of like to a month and a half ago, one of my other friends and his best friend found Volley on the floor. So we didn't know what was going on, and I thought it was a stroke. And he's like 50 years old, and he had a stroke, and I was just like, so they took him to the hospital. He was in the hospital for like 3 weeks. They couldn't, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they couldn't figure out what was going on until they finally ran some other tests, and he got hit with the West Nile encephalitis.
Oh man, that's
Yeah,
probably more dangerous than COVID.
yeah, and right now he's still in the hospital. He got transferred from Passaic to Dover in a rehab center where he still has the trach in his throat.
How the hell did
And
he get that in Jersey?
I don't know. I don't know where he was. He must have got bit by a mosquito.
Wow.
So yeah, so he lost a lot of weight. He has his good days. He has his bad days. And his sister, his whole family is in Romania because he's Romanian. So his whole family's down there. And then we finally got his sister to come into the States. They approved a 10-year visa for her, that's a blessing. And me and my friend, we've been trying to take care of her, take her to places, show her around, go see her brother, we go see Volley, try to do the best we can. I even have a fundraiser out there for him, which
Yeah.
I'm just passing around and try to get, people to donate. So that's my schedule has like been really, really tight,
Yeah.
the teaching and the working and then going to Dover and coming back, so there's really no time for video games at the moment,
Yeah.
you know.
Um,
Yeah,
do you have that charity on hand right now? Do you want to plug that right now?
yeah,
You go
actually,
ahead, man.
yeah, I actually do. It's a GoFundMe
Okay.
account. I don't know how to work the thing. I just
Well, tell people the GoFundMe page, and they'll figure it out.
let me see if I can find it though. I had it. I don't know. Okay, so the GoFundMe page. Yeah, so it just says to please help Basilica Goyan for medical. Um and he so far he raised about like 2,500 out of 20,000,
Okay, so he's
just
10
work
over
on his
ten
feet.
percent, over 10%.
Yeah, so it's been people have been making donations. We're even gonna host a seminar at a jiu-jitsu school in Denville, New Jersey, where all the profits will go into his GoFundMe account, you know. So yeah, like whatever help for even if it's like $1, $5, it doesn't matter, as long as because
Something.
he's gonna really, really need it,
Yeah, and they're
So
gonna they're gonna need it after he's out too. It's not gonna be a
yeah,
cakewalk when he goes home. Yeah.
no, it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's gonna he hasn't moved in about 2 months.
Oh,
You
and
know.
when you're
Yeah.
50, man, you lose weight, you lose muscle. And
Yeah, he's losing a lot
do
of
you
weight.
know how hard it is to get your muscle back when you're over 50?
Yeah.
Oh man,
So it's gonna be a very, very tough
slow.
situation.
Yeah, it'll be a slow recovery at best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Very slow.
but
But
but he has loved ones that they need help too. So hopefully we can get
yeah,
some attention to
absolutely.
that. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
good deal.
So it's good, man. It's good. So but everything, like I said, it's in God's hands again, and that's just to see how it goes. Or just be there for him and try to make him feel as comfortable as possible and let him know that we're there and we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
that's a great little family connection there. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So Jersey, man, the last time I remember going down there, Atlantic City was a mess. Is it still crazy down there?
uh, I mean, I don't know
Did
because
they
I
clean
went
it up? Did
there.
they clean it up a little?
I think so. I would
Okay,
think so.
okay,
I was there not too long ago because I had a corner a guy that was fighting for a kickboxing
local.
a kickboxing match. So I had to go over there and corner him. So he lost, but that's okay though. What I mean? He made some mistakes. But yeah, after that, yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Good deal.
Yes, yeah, nothing crazy, not that I know of. It's all cleaned up.
Well, I know once Mohegan Sun and Foxwoods came out of Connecticut there, it changed the game for Jersey, man.
Oh, really?
I don't know. You've never been to those big
Oh,
old
I don't know.
casinos?
No, yeah.
They're
No, I don't
huge.
know.
Yeah, they're huge. They're
Yeah,
Indian
no, I don't know.
casinos. Yeah.
Yeah, because all I did was stayed at the Hard Rock Cafe. That's it. I
Okay.
didn't go anywhere else from there.
Okay.
Because the fight didn't end till like what 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and
So
you're
we
done.
just
You're
had
done.
to get,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, just went there, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to bed.
yeah.
I'm
Fair
done.
enough. Fair enough.
I'm done. I'm too old to stay up late.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
New York City too. I thought New York City was too much, man. I went there a couple times, and it's
yeah,
expensive. It's
man.
crazy. It's wild.
Yeah, New York City, man. New York City was the place to be. I love the city, but with everything going on over there now, it's just too dangerous.
Yeah, it's not the
It's
same either. Yeah, yeah. That blows my mind. Okay, when I was a kid, you didn't mess with the cops in New York City.
No, absolutely not. No.
No, these are the guys that took out the mob, man. They took out the
Yeah,
mob.
absolutely.
We were petrified of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now you see
Yeah,
them like people just no
they don't care.
respect, no
And it's just
respect.
like no, and they get less and less too.
Yeah,
A lot of people
I don't
just
think I would have had the balls to do that when I was a kid. Not the stuff these guys do.
no, no, I
Yeah,
don't think so. No, I don't think there was a reason why I didn't become a cop because I wanted to become a cop, but thank God I didn't.
yeah, yeah. Can you imagine if you were in the middle of this right now? Oh hell
Oh
no.
my God, that would be
Yeah,
a nightmare.
yeah,
No way. So I rather stick to getting punched in the face from other people
yeah.
than getting shot at. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So
I'll take losing a tooth once in a while.
yeah, yeah,
Or a broken
yeah,
nose or whatever.
yeah, yeah. A couple of fractures here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, some stitches. I'll be fine because I recover and I could just walk the next day.
Exactly.
You know.
And you can have a clear conscience too. You don't have to worry about nothing.
No, 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 no,
See,
not at
that's one of
all.
the things with Texas that is kind of wild. You know, I don't carry a gun. I don't want to be. Everybody has one in their car. Everybody has one. And
Yeah,
in my mind, if I have to shoot you, man, that sucks. I got to keep that on my conscience forever.
forever. Yeah,
And what if I hesitate and you take the gun?
yep. And then he shoots you.
Or hits me
And
with
he
it,
did.
or it sounds like
Yeah.
it's terrible. So I'd much rather take an ass whooping from three dudes, or fight a couple guys and maybe lose a
Yeah.
tooth and win, and walk away with it and walk away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
You live another day.
I know if I kill someone, it's gonna definitely have some kind of long term ramification.
Yeah, I think if anybody, I mean, if you have to be like, you would have to be like real, like dark inside in order to just take someone's life and not care.
And not care,
You know,
yeah.
yeah,
Because I can justify it and say I had no choice. That's fine. But
exactly. Yeah, that's
but you
different.
still did it though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'd rather
Exactly.
not. I'd rather not. So I just keep it home.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'll just let the chips fall where they may.
yeah. See what happens. Well, I hope God
But
forbid
again,
nothing
it's a
happens.
whole other culture. Everybody down here carries them. Grandma's got one in her purse.
Yeah,
Everybody's got one.
I heard that they're
And
allowed
there's
to
no
carry
rules.
them.
There's basically no rules.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the crime is down at your country, at your state, right?
Well, here's the deal. Are you really gonna fuck with me or my girlfriend?
No, absolutely not.
You don't know if my girlfriend's gonna shoot you.
Yeah, exactly.
So it
We don't
definitely
want
gives
that.
that yes sir, yes ma'am.
Uh-huh.
It stays relevant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I do
That,
kind of like that. I like that whole mindset, that whole culture.
yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's honestly, I think it's a far better strategy.
Yeah.
You know, because when I was in Connecticut, you didn't know your neighbor. You know, you go to New York, you don't know anybody. It seems like you're in this little bubble,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can't really. It's not like that down here. Everybody in the neighborhood knows each other. Everybody talks to each other.
Yeah, that's why I want to go check it out.
Yeah, man.
That's
So,
something new.
and even San Antonio being as big as it is, I got 6 kids. I take them down to the Riverwalk. I
Wow.
take them down to yeah, right. Like I said, I'm busy, man. So I take them to the yeah, right. I take them to the Alamo, and we draw a lot of attention to it. We never have a problem, man. Big city like that, never have a problem.
Wow.
Now, granted, if you're looking for it, I'm sure it's there. But I know in Boston, New York, trouble finds you.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love going down to San Antonio. I love not having to worry about that kind of stuff.
That's good. I'm
Yeah,
glad. That's why I stay away from New York because if I go to New York, trouble's gonna look for me.
yeah, man. You don't even have to do it at night. They do this stuff in the middle of the day. Crazy
Yeah, no,
stuff.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ricardo, you
So
stay safe, man, and I appreciate you. I
thank you
gotta go
so
to
much.
bed. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks for reaching out. I hope we can do it again soon.
Absolutely. I'll keep your number. I'll keep your Instagram, and we'll talk about it. We'll do it again.
Absolutely. Great, man.
All right, Ricardo.
All
You
right.
have a
You
good
have
night,
have a
man.
good night. Thank you, brother.
Weather is good, sun is shining.